In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make plum tomatoes into homemade ketchup in just a few easy steps. 1 tablespoon garlic, tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of salt. Now you can just mix that up together. It's fine because it's all going in together. The juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to measure out 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. But if you don't want to use maple syrup, you can use, some people use brown sugar. I don't use brown sugar during this time. I'm going to use cinnamon, but if you would like to use allspice, I prefer cinnamon, so I'm going to use cinnamon. Tablespoon of cinnamon to start. And the cinnamon can go in by itself. Oil, 3 tablespoons of oil, which I'm going to put in as we go. 1/2 cup of sugar to start. Go. Sugar and salt are to taste. Whatever your preference is. Some people might like it a little more salty. Some people like sweet ketchup, so you might add a little more sugar. And I use the maple syrup because I like the flavor of the maple syrup with the tomatoes. So that's up to you. If you just want to use plain sugar, you can use plain sugar, or I use the both. Normally I soak my tomatoes in baking soda to clean them, but at this time of year I just will use some plain kosher salt, the coarse salt, or even vegetable wash. Then you're going to get your pot. You're going to start filling it up. I have this is about 2½ cloves of garlic. Just drop them in. This is a 1/4 cup of onions. Drop that in. Then you can start putting your tomatoes in the water. And this right here is a little over 5 pounds of tomatoes. It depends on the size of your tomatoes. Sometimes you can get the tomatoes large, like this. So this is only 5.5. But if they're smaller, I would say go between 5 and 7, for this recipe, 7 pounds of tomatoes. This is 5 pounds right here. I add a little salt to my water. Just about a little handful. What is that? Like a teaspoon to the water. And I'm going to put this on to boil for, once the water starts boiling, I'll say 10 to 15 minutes once the water starts boiling. I'll turn it up a little high, just to get the water, because it's cold water. I leave my pot top a little off because you don't want it to boil over, but that's just to help the steam stay in so it can get hot quicker. Once it gets hot, you turn it down, let it simmer for, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. Once your skins start busting off, then you can take it out and drain it. I'm draining off the tomatoes now that they have softened and the skins have started to raise up from it. And I'm going to pour them in a bowl so that they could cool down to be able to manage them. You can sit them in the refrigerator for an hour or so till they're manageable, so that you can start peeling them and so they can go into the blender. Taking out the cooled tomatoes. As you can see, the tomatoes are cool now and they still have a lot of water in them. So what I do is I will hold a little bit of the water. Some people don't want as much water because when it's boiling, you know, you want it to get thick. Some people just leave a little bit of water in there, but you'll still have water. I'll hold it just in case I need to thin it out. So, tomatoes, I will peel the skin off. Leave my onion pieces in there. And take the core out. The core is always hard. You just pull off your tomatoes, smash them up. You can see the skins will just peel right off. This is the tomatoes after they've been peeled and just smashed a little bit, along with a little bit of garlic that you cooked in them and the little pieces of onion. All of this is going to go in my blender and I'm going to puree it. So you can see that's 5 pounds of tomatoes. Put it on my blender, turn it on. Let it start. Be quick and easy. And turn it up a little. Blend it so you know everything is smooth in there. If it's too thick, you can add a little bit of that tomato water back to it. If not, everything looks smooth, then you're fine. You blended up all your onions and garlic and the tomato pieces all in there. Now you're going to take it over to your pot and pour it in. So, you're going to turn your pot on. I usually start it a little high just so it can just start to get warm quicker so it doesn't take so long. You're going to stir this every 10 to 15 minutes. Then you're going to drop your ingredients in here. The 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of salt. I just mixed them together. Put that in. This is about a little more than a tablespoon, but of cinnamon. If you want allspice, some people like allspice, some people like cinnamon. I'm more of a cinnamon person. Half a cup of sugar in there. And then my 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. Some people might like brown sugar instead. I just don't use brown sugar during this time because I don't know exactly how they mixed it. And this is the juice of 1 lemon. See that? I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to start it out with 2 tablespoons of the oil. I said 3. Okay, I start out with 2 of the tablespoons of the oil because I like to put the last one in the finished product. To me, it's more silky. So with this, you're just going to mix all of this in. And you're going to let this cook. Once it gets a little bit of a high heat, then you turn it down to low to simmer. And you're going to let it simmer for about an hour. But like I said, you're going to keep coming and doing a stir every 10 to 15 minutes. So that make sure that nothing is sticking on the bottom. Right now everything is cold in there, so it's not totally mixing, but it will. Cover it. I like to leave it just a little bit open. That's just me. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes and now you see how it's cooked down and it's got a beautiful coloring. So now I will put my 3 tablespoons. If you want to keep letting it cook, you can to thicken it up even more and just leave it like that. Or if you would like, I use Tuscanini organic tomato paste, kosher for Pesach, in the tube. because paste has nothing in it. Paste is just tomatoes that's been boiled down to their driest, their thickest. And I put the paste in and let it, make sure it's cooked, turned all the way down, because it'll start boiling even more. And here for myself, I like to put my last teaspoon of oil. You can put all three of them in together if you want, that's fine. But I like it in the end. Now, also to taste, your taste buds. If you want it a little more spicy, some people add cayenne pepper. I don't add cayenne pepper. Some people may want it a little more cinnamon or allspice. Some people might want it a little sweeter. You add more sugar. It's to your taste. So for me, for this to cook down, I'm going to let it cook for another 15 minutes because I said it should be about an hour. It's been about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to let this cook for another 15 minutes and make sure all that paste is cooked in there. And as you can see the little bits, that's your seeds and your onion and garlic. If you don't want to strain yours, you don't have to if you don't mind little bits. But if you want it to be more of the ketchup-y consistency, after this I'm going to strain it. All right, so this is our hour, maybe about an hour and 5 minutes or whatever. But this is the finished product. Now I'm going to start straining my ketchup. Bring it over to the sink. I pour a certain amount in my colander. You can hear it already start, the liquidy part is running through. But you do this if you want to get all your seeds and onion and garlic out. Like I said, if not, you can leave it in there. You can also use this like a sauce, where if you're making chicken or something during Pesach and you want to do it down in the sauce, you can. I always keep whatever's left, whatever's strained out of here, I keep it in a jar. And I use it for a dish. I don't throw anything away. And this is the jar that I had started some. And I'm going to put this in here. And like I said, I use this for a chicken dish, some kind of dish, vegetables, whatever I want to use it for. I'm not going to throw it away because that's good sauce. Okay, so just so you know, I boil my jars just so that they can be, first of all, to make double sure that they're super clean. And secondly, because when I take my ketchup out, I put them in the jars. Ketchup is hot. I want warm jars or good room temperature jars. I don't want it to be cold from off your shelf or wherever, because there is a possibility it breaks. Glass, hot, heat, and cold together will break. That's what I do with my jars. This is our finished product. And this is what, when you sit it in the fridge, it's going to firm up a little more. Then I'm going to start putting it in my jars. And that 5 pounds of tomatoes gave you 2 12-ounce jars of ketchup. This is cooled down, so you can close it up. If it wasn't cool, I would let it just sit with the taps laying on it for a minute. But you gave you 2 12-ounce jars. Now when you put it, as I was telling you before, this is a byproduct. This is all your seasonings, all the tomato seeds and everything afterwards. I don't throw anything away. I would take this and make a dish with it, you know, something else, and put it in vegetables, use it for chicken, or use it on beef, whatever you want to use it on. But we don't throw anything away. Please leave any questions in the comments below. Thank you.